Welcome back. Now we have another application question. What are we expected to do? We're expected to read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. We have the scenario on Batandwa Clothing Manufacturer. Now, the management of Batandwa Clothing Manufacturer has appointed a health and safety representatives. Now, they will be responsible for checking the effectiveness of Batandwa Clothing Manufacturer's health and safety measures, and they must also identify potential dangers in the workplace. So that is your scenario over there. And then you are expected to answer questions that follow. The first question is to code 2 roles of health and safety representatives from the scenario above. And then number 2, you are expected to describe other roles of health and safety representatives in the workplace. Let's see how it is supposed to be done. Remember, you read your scenario and you realize that the first part of your sentence says the management of Batandwa Clothing Manufacturer has appointed the health and safety representatives. Do you have an answer there? No. This is just an intro, meaning an introduction to what the business is doing or what the business is planning to do. Now, the second sentence says now they will be responsible for checking the effectiveness of Batandwa Clothing Manufacturers' health and safety measures. That is one. And they must also identify potential dangers in the workplace. So you will quote the 2 last sentences because they are relevant and they are accurate and they are the correct answer. So the first one is they will be responsible for checking the effectiveness of BCM's health and safety measures. Then another quotation. They must also identify potential dangers in the workplace. Then that is how you code your 2 roles of health and safety representatives. Now, discuss other roles. Your other roles, identify potential dangers in the workplace. Is this your other role? No, because it was on the scenario. So we will give it the R for repetition. So keep that in mind. I'm doing this so that you know how things will be done if you repeat. If you repeat something that was on the scenario, then they investigate workers' complaints. That's accurate. They also ensure that employers comply with Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Diseases Act, and they ensure that protective clothing is provided to all workers. We have another application question, which we are expected again to read the scenario below and answer questions that follow. We have Kuruman Mining KM. So Kuruman Mining offer subsidized meal on the premises. Now KM ensures that promotion is not linked to age, but rather to a specific set of skills. English is the only medium of communication allowed in the workplace. despite the fact that some employees do not understand or speak it. Now, let's answer the questions now. The first question says, identify 3 diversity issues referred to the scenario above and motivate your answer. Then number 2 says to you, recommend ways in which now Kuruman Mining should deal with each of the diversity issues identified above. Now, you are expected to identify, but what guides you is the scenario. So you need to look into the scenario. The first part talks about the idea that Kuruman Mining offers subsidized meals. That is one. Number 2, that in the sentence says now KM ensures that promotion is not linked to age. So this sentence guides you as well to say what diversity issue is that one. And then the other one talks about communication, because it says English is the only medium of communication allowed in the workplace, despite the fact that some employees do not understand or speak it. So that's another aspect to be considered. But the issue of communication becomes key, especially because of the language over there, which is English. So how do you do it? You need to code them first. So you code the 3. Thereafter, what you do, you identify the issues. So the first one, talking about subsidized meal, this should be poverty as a diversity issue. That is one. And then KM ensures that promotion is not linked to age. So that one talks to age again as a diversity issue. The hint is there. Promotion is not linked to age. And then English as the only medium language of communication. Obviously, this becomes a language. Language becomes your answer over there. Language is your answer over there. So those are your 3 diversity issues, and this is how you would be getting your marks. Now let us talk about question 2, which says to us, recommend ways in which the business would be expected to deal with each issue. We have poverty. The business should employ people from different socio-economic backgrounds and status so that they make sure that they alleviate poverty, and they should reward employees for service well rendered. Then age. A business may not employ children under the age of 15 or younger, and then the ages of permanent workers should vary from 18 to 65 to include all age groups. Then language. Language talks to the idea that the business should provide training in an official language of the business, and no worker should feel excluded in the meeting conducted in one language only. So those are ways in which the business would deal with these diversity issues. So with that being said, we can take another short break and we will continue when we wrap up our lesson.